Hello my friends, welcome back to my little corner of the making world on this very large internet space. I have my knitting basket with me waiting to show you what I have been up to and to talk about my plans for the first half of this year. So let's start with something really exciting. I have finished the Coral Coast wrap, which I used the yarns from Pammy and my Advent that we did together. So it was a herbal and yarn Advent that we popped together, and people opened it during the month of December leading up to Christmas. And I shared all of the day's offerings with you on my vlogs that I did during Vlogmas. And I have finished it. It is waiting to be blocked, but I thought I'd do a little show and tell before I went off and blocked it. So here it is. The pattern is by Ambah O'Brien, and it's just going to be the most magnificent addition to my wardrobe. I'm so excited by it. I love all of the colors and I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's blocked. So as soon as I finish recording today, I'm going to go off and block this. So I highly recommend this pattern. It definitely keeps your interest because it changes up every color. It changes in the pattern. Sometimes there are some repeats. So I think there's a couple of repeats, like this color here and the ending color are the same. So they're repeated there. And then there's one more that's repeated. I think it might be this one and this one here. I think they're repeated, or maybe it's this one and this one. I don't know. I'm not sure, but there are a couple of repeats. The only issue I had with this was that if you were keeping track of the pattern repeat, so the chart repeat, it changes up with all the different colors. So if you were keeping track with stitch markers, you need to move those stitch markers with each color, and I gave up with using stitch markers in the end and just tried to, if I finished halfway through, because there are, you know, over 300 stitches on the needles at one time, and if I got distracted, I'd just try and finish the repeat so that I knew where I was up to. But yeah, it was relatively easy, and really I just love all of the colors that Pammy has dyed. They're all just so lovely. And yeah, as I said, I'm gonna block it and I shall show you it next time when I pop in for another chat. But I really wanted to be here chatting with you today, so I didn't want to wait until I'd blocked it, because then I feel like I would have had to have waited till next month to do a recording. This is just a tiny little window in my busy-ish life, and I just wanted to share this moment with you of finishing that wrap and what else I've been knitting on. So today is, I think it might get up to close to 40 degrees. It's expected to get up to 39, but it's pretty hot today, and it's pretty hot quite early on as well. So my next knit is something that was gifted to me all the way back in November 2022, and it was gifted to me by one of you, and I'm very, very grateful. It's such a beautiful pattern and so easy to follow that, yeah, it was just such a lovely thing to be sent, and I'm only just now finally getting around to casting it on. And the reason it's only just now that I've cast it on is, most of you will know last year I didn't really get around to knitting very much at all, and the year before things were just sort of teetering in that direction. I've now found my love for knitting again. It's not so much that I didn't that I fell out of love for knitting. It's more that life just took over and I had less time for it, and my heart wanted to be more in the soil and out there with my animals and growing our food rather than be sitting still knitting. And I'm just now finding the energy again in the evenings to do a little bit of knitting, so to work on my knitting each evening after doing all of the busy stuff on our homestead. So I have found my mojo again, I guess you would say, and I'm really excited about what I want to get done this year. I have a few things that I need to finish, which I will share with you in a moment, and these things are for my children too. I've got plans to get some knits done for them for this winter. And I have a few fun projects as well. But this one is the Cargill Cowl, and it is a lovely pattern. I think we can view it this way. I wonder if it does matter which way you look at it. Yeah, I think this way is the best way for it. So it is lovely. I'm knitting it in this yarn that I made my weekender sweater out of, that ended up being felted, which I'm going to make into a cushion cover eventually, and I'm going to do some embroidery on that cushion cover. But I'm yet to get to that project, so I have to be really careful with this yarn and not let it felt. So I did hand wash the sweater. Something happened in the process and perhaps the water was a bit too hot, so this will just be cold hand washed, and hopefully I won't run into any difficulties. But it was a lovely pattern to follow. As you can see, I'm almost at the end. I've got a little bit more ribbing to do, but I've got to do some stash hunting to try and find the rest of the yarn that I had left over from the sweater. If I can't find that, I did buy some more of this yarn, intending to knit a sweater again. So I will pop on the screen what the yarn is. It is a Bendigo Woolen Mills one, but it is no longer available. So it was a limited edition yarn and it is just beautiful. So I'm really happy to have this finally being knit. I think I knitted it a little bit shorter than the pattern required, and that's because I just wasn't sure if I'd have enough yarn. But I think this length will be just perfect for me because I don't have, it's gonna crinkle up quite nicely and keep me quite warm in our cold winters that we get here. So I'm really happy with that. I'm trying not to crinkle the microphone. I have it hidden under my bandana. I've popped my bandana on because this dress needs a little bit of maintenance. It needs a bit of mending. I will be doing a lot of mending this year. I am planning to film more videos because my mending videos get the most hits on this channel. So I plan to do more mending because I know it helps people out there with their own mending issues. So I have one more project that I haven't actually worked on, but I need to finish. So it's a little bit hard to work on a sweater in 35 to 40 degree heat, but this is a Felix Pullover that I have started for my daughter Charlotte, so my eldest, and I'm making it out of this watermelon yarn. So watermelon, fine wool and bamboo and silk yarn held together with, the tag has fallen down, so it's held together with this wool. So both of these are yarns that I have got from the back of Bendigo Woolen Mills and years ago. So there's the other colour, that the other yarn I'm holding this colour with. So these two together, and this is what it looks like when they're held together. and I'm up to the sleeves now. So all I have to do are the sleeves and then I am done. So I made it not too long. I haven't made it too short either though, but it was a fun knit to work on, and I just need to do these sleeves. I'm toying up whether to do the sleeves 2 at a time, and if I do that, I think I have one more ball of this, so I won't have to make this into 2 balls, I think, because I have another ball of the same yarn. But I'm hoping to get through my stash of yarn this year, and that is what I want to talk about as well. Oh, I can see it. I can see the other ball in my tub over there. So I have moved a lot of my yarns into tubs just because I am not, I haven't been using them. So I did that a while ago, popped them all in some tubs and in plastic bags just to make sure that the moths don't get to them. And my aim this year, as I said, is to work through my stash and just use what I have on hand and try and get through a lot of the stash. I do have a few projects in mind that I would love to buy some new yarn to make these ones. And I have a few more projects on the go. So let me get some of these projects out. Now this one is a re-knit of a pattern of my own. So I took this yarn away with me to New Zealand last year, and I re-knit my With the Flow shawl. So this is my With the Flow shawl, and I re-knit it, just adjusting the end of the shawl, so the last color that you knit with, and I'm really happy with it. I have taken down this shawl because I wanted to revamp it and redo it. So here it is, and I'm going to block this, take some photos and get this new pattern up. So when you purchase this pattern again, or if you've already purchased this pattern, you will be receiving the new version. So there'll be a number 2 version to this shawl, and if you buy it again, you will get both. You'll get version 1 and version 2, and you can make a choice as to which one you want to go with. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these blocked. So getting this one blocked and my other wrap blocked, and then of course taking photos. I haven't taken photos of knits for a while, so I'm looking forward to that. So I shall chat more about this at a later date. I'm hoping to have it all sorted for next month. Okay, another project of mine are these radish socks. So I really want to finish these in time for a winter. So I'm going to be knitting away on these. I've only done one sock, so obviously I need to, cast on the second one and get the second one done as well. But it's such a lovely sock, and I can't wait to have this finished. So I did make the mitts. I've got the radish mitts, and I will put the pattern up on the screen. I think it's called the Rad Radish or Rad Socks, or yeah, anyway, I'll pop it on the screen. And also the yarns that I'm using as well are, so I'm using yarns from Ren and Ollie, and that's the green that I'm using for that. And then the rest of the colors are, I will put them on the screen because I don't have the tags in here, and my memory is not so great after having this project in this project bag for over a year now. So I'm planning to finish those socks, so I have another pair of socks on the go. Right, the next project that I've almost finished, and I also finished this, or was knitting on this, in New Zealand, or just before New Zealand, I believe. I got gifted this bag. It is so sweet, and I have a handkerchief in here, one of my one of my hankies. It's a clean one, I promise. I've got a dress made out of this fabric and it's the most gorgeous fabric. So I think what I was deciding with this is Radvent Cowl by Ambah O'Brien, I'm pretty sure. And it's lovely. I've used some of the yarns that I got in the natural fibre advent that they did in 2023, because they're not doing any anymore, or they took a year off this year. So what I have to do is the border. So I have to join these two sides together, and then yeah, it'll go over my head. I'm not going to try it on because it'll muck up the microphone, which last time I did I do an podcast, or it was more my vlogging that I did, and I realized I kept touching my microphone and it mucks up the sound. So I have to finish this off, and I've got 3 colors left. I can't even remember if I asked anyone's opinions about what one I should use, or maybe it was even when I was doing Patreon, which I'm no longer doing anymore because it just became too much. So now I'm just on this channel here and also my farming channel as well. And that is really enough for me. Once your kids get to being teenagers and learning to drive and all that, things just speed up. There's lots on. And so I've got these 3 colors left over to do the border on this cowl, and I really want to get this finished, so it is high up on my list of things to finish. So I think I decided perhaps I'd do the darker color, but I'm not sure if I have enough, so yeah, we shall see. Okay, so I'm just having a little look on my Ravelry page where I've got some projects that I have on here, and I've got some Ulu mitts which they weren't really working out well, so I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to unpick them and use the yarn for something else. I also have a sweater that is made from the Zyma pattern, and I'm not too keen on it anymore, so I'm pondering actually unpicking that and making something else with the yarn. So yeah, there's those 2 things that I've undone. And then I've also got here that I've cast on a festive doodle. I think I've done a swatch for it, but I haven't actually cast on the sweater yet. But I do plan to use some of my yarns out of my stash to make one of those sweaters. I also have a swatch for another sweater as well, which I believe I've started the neckband, and that's as far as I have gotten with that sweater. So I'm not sure where I've popped it. It's probably in one of my tubs up high there, and I plan to work on these projects here, and then I will get to the bigger projects that I have started but not quite started, and reassess everything there. So this year for me, or at least the first 6 months of this year, is going to be about sort of cleansing my projects, getting them down and finishing off some things, just so I have a bit more freedom or headspace for starting some new sweaters. I definitely have some holes in my wardrobe because some of my sweaters, like my Branches and Buds pullover, that has got massive holes under the arms. I want to repair it and wear it still, but I need a lightweight jumper like that. I don't have one of that sort of style that's, you know, sort of loose fitting, really comfortable. Every other sweater that I have in that same weight of yarn is quite tight on my body, which I enjoy wearing with my dresses and that, but I want a jumper that I can, you know, put on when I go to work. So I'm moving a lot at work. I'm cleaning and I'm shopping and I'm doing all these errands and driving a lot. I want a sweater that I can whack on and off on the cooler, mornings, and then into winter when I don't want to wear a really thick jumper. So there are some gaps in my wardrobe that I want to find solutions for this year. And I also have a lot of mending to do. So as I said before, I will be doing quite a few mending videos hopefully, but I want to just get started on some of the mending, and I thought today would be a wonderful day. I do have some orders though to get done, and I have been making some more of my balms to put up in my shop. So I've made some of my rose petal salve, which is just a lovely moisturizer that smells so beautiful. And I've just been working on labeling those this morning while I've been waiting to sort of do some ironing a bit later when it gets, really hot. I know that probably doesn't make any sense, but I don't want to heat up the house for all of the day. I'd rather wait till the end part of the day to start heating up my studio here. So today my youngest has gone out to her friend's house, and I wanted to mend some of her little toys that have been affected by some moths, I think, in her room. She hasn't quite been very vigilant, but she's also had some gaps in her fly screen. So I've noticed that the moths are coming in from outside. So she's got this little hole in her little mouse that I knitted a few years ago. So it's a cute little mousey. And there's also a hole in the overalls that this mouse was wearing. So I have 2 holes to repair from this knit. And this little fellow is stuffed with alpaca fleece, which I have discovered that the moths go for the alpaca fleece. So it's made me think, oof, what do I do in the future with toys, and what do I stuff them with? And do I just keep using the alpaca fleece that we have here from our alpacas? Maybe I'll freeze the alpaca fleece, because they could be coming inside. Even though I wash the alpaca fleece and then dry it in the sun, it can still hold on to some things. So I might freeze the alpaca fleece before I use it for stuffing. But yeah, I've got that one to mend, so I'm hoping to mend that today so that she comes home to it all mended. And then I've got this little bear of hers as well that I knitted a while ago. So it's got just a little hole in its foot there. And that's all for this one, just that little hole. So I'm going to do a cute little patch on both of these. And they've already spent some time in the freezer, in a plastic bag in the freezer. So hopefully they don't have any remnants of the moths anymore. I've also got this to repair, which is simply just sending this through into the head of this bee. I'm not sure where she got this little bee from, but yeah, it needs a little mend there. So there's a few things to mend today for my daughter. And I have got a massive pile of mending to get done over yonder. I'm staring at it every day, and I think I just need to start chipping away at it. So that is all I have to share with you today. I'm hoping to pop in at least once a month to update you on my knitting and my making, my sewing and my mending as well. And I hope you enjoy seeing what I make. So before my camera runs out of battery, I just wanted to thank you for watching this little episode of mine, and let me know below in the comments what you're knitting on at the moment and what your plans are for the year. I really am looking forward to diving back into the knitting world and getting all inspired by everyone else's projects and getting some new bits and pieces done for my wardrobe and my kids' wardrobe. I'm really excited to work through my stash as well. And I've also been doing a bit of a tidy up in my studio as well, which has been really lovely. I've got a new backdrop. I've popped my sock blockers up here, but I need to put some more hooks on the wall so I can hook up things and be a bit more organized in my studio space. Thank you so much, my friends, for watching, and I will see you next time.